Some of poker's highest rollers came to Paradise Island to test their mettle in one of the richest buy-in tournaments in the world.
What's up, y'all?
Price of admission, a staggering $25,000. Now just 8 players remain, each looking to become the PCA High Roller Champion. Welcome to the NAPT at the PCA at Atlantis in the Bahamas, a place where people come to see and be seen. Hi everyone, I'm Lon McCarran with Norman Chad. The PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure High Roller event began with a star-studded field of 84.
How's it going?
Who all bought in for $25,000.
The competition was fierce as this field was considered to be one of the toughest and most decorated ever at the PCA.
All were looking to claim bragging rights and their piece of the $2 million prize pool, but one by one, they were sent to the rail.
Was that hand real?
Good game.
And now we're down to our final table. It's a group of international players all looking to make a name for themselves. Norman, let's meet the remaining high rollers taking their shot at glory.
The short stack is Russian Dmitry Stelmak, who holds less than 10 big blinds. Seventh in chips is one of 2 Canadian pros at the table, Matt Marifiotti. He holds just over 230,000 chips.
Next is Michiel Brummelhaus, the pro from the Netherlands, is in 6th place. Then we have cash game specialist Lisa Hamilton, who sits with 440,000 and even more confidence.
I'm not going for second, I'm here to win it.
William Reynolds is an EPT final tableist looking for his first major tournament win. The 21-year-old pro has nearly 500,000 chips. Will Molson knows what making this final table is like, finishing second last year. This year he is third in chips and hoping to capture the top spot.
Being at the final table, I was happy enough, but this year I won first place a lot more.
Second is Adolfo Baeza. This amateur has made 2 EPT final tables. And finally, the man with the most chips is German pro Tobias Rankemeyer. He has the lead, but isn't taking anything for granted.
I definitely like my chances, but I still need to get lucky to take it down.
8 players, all looking for a little luck, lots of cash, and the title of champion. We are ready to get the cards in the air to see who will become the high roller champion and grab the $576,000 top prize. There's the man who just missed the top spot last year. Will Molson was runner-up at this event in '09. Right now, he and everyone else are chasing the chip leader, Tobias Rankemeyer, at his first PCA final table.
I got some butterflies in my stomach. I'm a little nervous.
Did you say it? Wait, isn't this just the repeat, though?
Tell him, Molson shouldn't be feeling nerves the second time around.
Yeah, this is a pretty young final table.
A very young final table.
Indeed. Reynolds and Marifiotti, the youngest here at 21.
Kids are taking over.
Well, not quite yet. 58-year-old Adolfo Baeza is the oldest. The second oldest, the lone female at the table, Lisa Hamilton, who is 38.
I can be 38.
Hamilton mostly plays high-stakes cash games, but she is the reigning ladies champion at the World Series of Poker. She will not play this hand. Over to Baeza, who finished 4th at the 2009 EPT London High Roller event, and he'll lay it down.
This is a young and international final table, 2 from the U.S., 2 from Canada, and 1 each from the Netherlands, Germany, Uruguay, and Russia.
And the Russian player, Dmitry Stelmak, with King 10 of hearts.
Oh.
He is all in for 136,000.
Stelmak pushes with about 7 big blinds left.
Will Molson, the runner-up here last year, will not play this hand. To the chip leader, Tobias Rankemeyer. Ace-10 off in the big blind.
Call.
And he does make the call to put Stelmak at risk. Stelmak all in and dominated.
Stelmak busted Greg Raymer and Peter Eastgate out of this event. He's mostly an online player.
Chip leader trying to get richer.
Straight flush.
All right, here we go to the flop. Stelmak at risk. It is 9-10 ace. The wrong suit for Stelmak.
Stelmak was dreaming of a better flop. He's all but out of here against aces up.
Turn card. Oh, it's a king. That's cruel. Stelmak hits 2 pair, but it's not enough.
And now Stelmak needs a king, or he's our first final table casualty.
The river card is a jack, and that will do it. Rankemeyer, the chip leader, knocks off Dmitry Stelmak in 8th place. He earns almost $67,000.
He was a kid with a dream.
I just saw that face card coming. And
I saw it too. I was like, oh.
I know.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice call.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Tobias in good position to laugh, being the chip leader. Let's see where the remaining 7 are positioned around the table. Adolfo Baeza is in seat 1 next to Reynolds, followed by Brummelhouse, Molson, Rankemeyer, Hamilton, and the short stack Marafiati is next to the dealer in seat 8. 7 do remain. Only one will get their hands on that $576,000 top prize. Rankemeyer, the chip leader right now, but action is on one of the 21-year-olds at the table, William Reynolds, ace-jack offsuit.
You know what's amazing, Lon? Everyone left at the final table is wearing a watch. 20-somethings don't wear watches.
A raise from Reynolds to $41,000. Over to Will Molson. He'll lay it down. The chip leader now. A little bit richer after that knockout. Ace-jack of clubs.
And when you're in a casino, time stops. You don't need a watch. The chip leader might push back here.
Rankemeyer thinking about it, but just makes the call. So Reynolds has one taker. Lisa Hamilton now on the button. 5-4 off will go into the mug. A small blind now. Marafiati is the short stack. Ace-6 of hearts.
Marafiati with a weak ace. 2 others in the pot. I would pick a better spot. If I'm Matt, I just wind my watch right here.
That's what he'll do. To Adolfo Baeza in the big blind, Jack-6. The only amateur at this table has a couple of PokerStars team pros following him. Leo Fernandez on the left and Veronica DeBoule.
Just call.
And he says he will call.
Just call? How about just fold? I'm not sure the team PokerStars pros would be making a call there.
3 to the flop, tray 9-6. Baeza's pair of 6s. Rule versus ace-jack squared.
Apparently the amateur knows what he's doing. He expected that flop, he got the flop.
Baeza first to act, bets $50,000. Reynolds will get out of the way. Now to the big stack.
And the big stack has squadouche on that flop.
Rankemeyer thinking about it. I guess he says, Adolfo, if you hit that flop, you can't be too comfortable. So he raises to $175,000.
Big stack trying to muscle out. Baeza has the second biggest stack, though. If Rankemeyer's read is off here, Baeza could put a dent in the chip leader.
Baeza lays it down, so a big play from the big stack on the amateur wins him more chips.
The young pro outmaneuvering the old amateur.
Rankemeyer holds the biggest hammer and extends his lead, nearing $1.4 million, firmly in command of this final table.
Hi, I'm Joanna Krupa, and you're watching the North American Poker Tour. Test your poker skills and even win a free entry to upcoming NAPT events now on PokerStars.net. There are free tournaments every day, and if your game is on, you could be sitting next to me at the next NAPT tournament. Now, let's get back to the action.
Welcome back to Atlantis. The Bahamas have seen some unseasonably cool weather during the PCA, but now the sun is out and it's warming up, but nothing compared to the action heating up between the final 7 players. Here at the NAPT at the PCA High Roller final table, the battle for $576,000 in high gear. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. William Reynolds has taken a dip while Lisa Hamilton has moved up, but the one constant remains, and that is the chip leader, Tobias Rankemeyer. The 22-year-old German pro has made it look easy so far at this final table, and his whole poker career has been nothing but charmed.
I started playing poker like 4.5 years ago. I was still going to school, studying economics. I saw this advertisement on TV. They gave me 50 free bucks, so I started like my career, and I never made a deposit. It's just not possible to travel to tournaments and to study at the same time, and I just decided to move to Malta and play poker. I played my first 500 euro live event. I won it for like 30k euros. From there on, I just started playing higher, and here I am. When I play a tournament, I don't think about the money anymore. Don't think about what the money means like in the real world, because then you play bad. I went pretty deep in like tons of events, but I didn't have any major final tables so far, so this is my first one. So I don't have big expectations, and I just play my best, and I definitely like my chances.
So far, Tobias's trip to the Bahamas has been fruitful as he earned his largest live cash ever in the PCA main event, finishing in 46th.
Akil Brummelhouse cashed in 65th place in that main event, and this is the third cash at this PCA for Matt Maraffiati, who's rooming with Will Molson, who finished second here last year.
Staying longer, I extended my vacation.
Hope the room isn't on Molson's credit card.
It's been a business trip up until now.
Yeah, fun. The weather's so nice now. I want to go snorkeling or something.
I went snorkeling yesterday, Lon. Met two very nice young lobsters.
I see you as more of a water slide kind of guy, Norman. Rankemeyer with ace-jack again.
Tobias off to a nice start here. He bluffed Viesa and knocked out Stelmach.
Man with twice as many chips says second place raises to 45,000, and I guess they're having a special on ace-jack today, Norman.
I've never worn a watch, Lon. I prefer using a sundial.
Lisa Hamilton makes the call with ace-jack for 45,000. Baeza gets out of the way, as does big blind William Reynolds.
Too many pairs of shades at this table. I believe it is sunny outside.
Heads up now, Hamilton and Rankemeyer. The flop is 8-8-7, all red. You see the percentages. We're guaranteed a split pot if neither folds.
Yeah, maybe they should just shake hands and take their chips back.
That would be cordial. Nope, no niceties from the chip leader. 55,000 is the bet.
Lisa Hamilton might not want to tangle with the chip leader here.
Well, she's not going anywhere. Indeed, she is going to raise it 100,000 more.
Nice read. But if I'm Tobias, I might think if she had a big hand, wouldn't she just smooth call here and let me bet at it again on the turn? Or he might put her on a flush or straight draw and figure, I still got no business.
Rankemeyer lays it down to Hamilton's raise.
Makes sense.
He says through gritted teeth.
So Lisa takes a bite out of the chip leader. She's in second place now.
What did you have for breakfast today?
We both had a Denver omelet and some tomato juice.
I didn't have time for breakfast. I couldn't sleep last night. I could hardly wake up.
Okay, I lied. We didn't have breakfast together.
What did you have so I don't have it?
Actually, I ate with Tobias. We had a Snickers bar and Yoo-hoo.
Rankemeyer lost that hand, but he's still over 1.2 million. He and the other 6 players all have their eye on the top prize. The next one out earns 87,000. Then we move to over 100,000. Big jumps from 4th to 3rd and another from 3rd to 2nd. But it all pales to the top prize of $576,000. Action on Rankemeyer. He lays it down. Lisa Hamilton looks at King Jack, and she will not play that. Now to the short stack 21-year-old Matt Maraffiati. Pocket sevens.
He's only got 7 big blinds left. He'll be shoving with the pocket pair.
He'll be raising to just 45,000.
It surprises me. He leaves himself about 100,000 behind.
Ace King for William Reynolds.
Now, he's got to be thinking of shoving. If Maraffiati calls, it would be for about 40% of Williams' stack, plus the watch.
I'm all in.
Reynolds does re-raise all in and gets a stare from Maraffiati. Over to Will Molson, Maraffiati's roommate and buddy.
Well, I don't think he'll be joining Matt in this one.
For tray of diamonds. Molson opts out. So Maraffiati pinning his hopes on the pocket pair.
Pair?
The two 21-year-olds butt heads. Maraffiati at risk.
You owe me from the main. Come on.
You won the last flip.
Matt is leading with the
I'm gonna win this one too.
Maraffiati needs to win this to stay at the final table.
It's the only hand I've had the entire day.
The day's just begun, Matt.
The flop. 9-4-10. Maraffiati's sevens hold up.
The executioner should be the one who's thirsty.
2 more streets, come on.
Turn card is an ace, and that puts a dagger in Maraffiati's chances.
And now maybe only 1 more street left at the final table for Maraffiati.
Matt getting up.
7 from heaven.
The loving 7, the one with the heart on it.
Indeed, Matt needs a 7 or he is gone.
River card is a 6, and that will do it. William Reynolds knocks out Matt Maraffiati in 7th place. Matt will win over $87,000.
Good game.
He was a kid with a dream.
William Reynolds rakes a nice pot and all the chips of Matt Maraffiati.
Take care.
So one 21-year-old knocks out the other. Reynolds moves up to 4th place. He owns over 500,000 chips now.
Barry Greenstein does it with an ace on the river, and I do it with an ace on the turn.
Reynolds wins this title. He might have enough poker cred to write his own book, but he'll need a different title. Welcome back to Atlantis and the NAPT at the PCA High Roller Final Table. Action underway right now on the man who just knocked off Matt Marafiati, William Reynolds from the United States. Reynolds will not play this hand. Mikhail Brummelhouse has been quiet so far. He looks down at ace-8 of clubs.
If you're wearing a watch and sunglasses, how can you see what time it is?
On Will Molson with ace-queen off.
Molson's family founded Molson Beer in 1786.
Will Molson reaching for chips. He's going to raise to 47,000. He did tell us his favorite number was 47. To the chip leader, Rankemeyer on the button. He'll lay it down.
See, the woman and the older man, no shades. That's why I prefer women and older men.
Folded over to Adolfo Baeza in the big blind, Jack 10. Looks like he will defend his blind. Makes the call.
He was talking about how easy his blind is too, but he protects his blind every single time. Every single time.
Those blinds aren't easy today.
Easy blind. I didn't raise.
Baeza has been active from the blind, but it's inappropriate for Lisa to comment on his play with Molson still in the hand.
Molson and Baeza will go heads up. Here's the flop. Queen, Jack 7. Molson with top pair and top kicker. Baeza with middle pair. Baeza bets it with a pair of jacks, 55,000.
Baeza likes it. I think Molson likes it more.
Molson will come along with the queens. Turn card now. 5 of hearts. Molson still way ahead. Baeza reaching for chips, makes it 100 grand.
Young internet guns don't like it when they're on the other end of the aggression. It's like in basketball, teams that press don't like to be pressed.
Molson.
Molson appears worn down by Baeza's play.
Maybe just a little Canadian Hollywooding. Matt Marafiati's going to stick around and see how Molson fares here. Molson just with a call.
He's exhausted making that call.
Yes. All right, the river card now. Baeza wondering what he's up against. It's a tray. Molson's top pair. Top kicker is best, as you see by the percentage next to his name. Baeza, 100 grand again.
That's a small bet from the amateur, who looks very comfortable.
I'm all in.
Molson raises all in.
You know, Lon, every time I doubt an online whiz, they show why they're 10 times smarter than I'll ever be on the felt.
Molson's buddies on their feet.
That's a disjointed board, no flush possibility, no way Molson has a 7-high straight, but I don't know if Baeza can be this committed to second pair.
No.
He does lay it down, and that's a great example of the importance of position in this game. Will Molson takes the pot.
New rule, Lon, I don't invite anyone under the age of 30 to my home game.
Baeza feeling a bit stung.
Tough fold.
Maybe so, but it was the right one. Baeza started this table second in chips. He is now the short stack, while Molson is currently second in chips. Tobias Rankemeyer remains in the top spot. Hamilton in third, followed by Reynolds, Brummelhouse, and Baeza. Action begins on the current second place player, Will Molson. Ace-9 offsuit.
Ace-9 under the gun. He just got a bunch of chips.
And will not play this hand.
I like that discipline. Just get rid of it. It's trouble.
Rankemeyer, the chip leader, won't play 7 tray. To Lisa Hamilton now. King tray offsuit.
Born in Honolulu, a high-stakes cash game player who now lives in Las Vegas. And it looks like she wants to mess around with King 3 off from the cutoff.
50,000 is the raise from Lisa Hamilton. Baeza gets out of the way. William Reynolds now in the small blind with ace-8 offsuit.
He was working as a grocery store clerk in Iowa for a year and a half until he built up his poker bankroll.
Born in Sioux City, he announces a re-raise.
He's got to tell us how much, doesn't he?
I think that's part of the rule. 106,000. Brummelhouse in the big blind has not had much to play, and he'll fold.
What do you have left?
About 430 behind.
What do you have left? You've got King 3 off. I don't think you're going to be robbing the young man in broad daylight. Hamilton has Reynolds covered, but only by about 140,000.
I raise.
Hamilton announces re-raise.
What is the raise right now?
Robbery in progress.
And Reynolds folds even before he knows how much Hamilton was going to raise. So Lisa Hamilton takes that pot with moxie.
Oh, you can scratch her off my home game list.
Aggressive girl. She's a cash game player, that's why.
I don't even know how to play this, you know?
We're showing these tourney donks how to play tourneys.
Indeed, Lisa Hamilton was a cash game player exclusively until she got pushed into the tournament scene by a very close friend.
My friend Elkie, Bertrand Grospellier. We met maybe 5 years ago in Vegas. Oh, that's how you're my best friend. He's an excellent poker player. He won this event last year, and he won the main event the year before.
Elkie wins it.
Wow.
Normally, I'm in Hawaii at this time, and he's like, oh, it's so good here. It's the best here. You need to come. You need to come. Do you want to play the high roller event or not? And at the last one, I was like, all right, I guess I'll come. And I'm here now. Then he busted. Then it was like up to me. It's like, okay, Lisa, well, you better win this then. I could lose the biggest pot in a live cash game and it wouldn't even faze me. But when you play for days and you bust from a tournament, I don't know how they do it. It's kind of sickening. So I want to win it.
Lisa won the ladies' event at the 2009 World Series. The only reason she played was because Elkie wanted her to keep his girlfriend company. The girlfriend busted, and Lisa ended up winning the title.
And almost $200,000 for that win as well. Action folded around to Will Molson in the small blind. King, Queen of Hearts.
Molson also a regular at high-stakes cash games.
He's going to call for $10,000. The blind's at 10 and 20,000. Tobias Rankemeyer, King, 9 of diamonds in the big blind.
He was an economics student in Germany until he decided to move to Malta and play poker professionally.
He will raise it to 60,000.
Tobias says, you limp, you pay. 40,000 more.
Molson wondering, is that a big stack raise?
I'll see the flop.
Molson is now legally obligated to see the flop. If he had said nothing, he could have left.
Molson calls for 40,000 more. Here's the flop. It is Jack 8-10, both with up and down straight draws. Molson's is higher. Rankemeyer also picked up a flush draw.
Oh, I like the texture of that flop, Lon. The two biggest stacks against each other here.
Molson checked. Rankemeyer reaching for chips with his 2 draws. 65,000.
Molson with a big hand, too.
Let's make it 180 total.
Molson makes it sound like they're at a pajama party and they've decided to roast some marshmallows.
A check raise from Will Molson. And his buddies sit uneasily on the sidelines.
Let's make it 180 total. I'm not letting anyone under the age of 25 into my house ever again.
I'm all in.
All in from Rankemeyer.
And this would be for all of Will Molson's chips.
I have to call.
And Molson calls all in.
Yeah, the way they play and the way that flopped, it was inevitable all the chips were headed into the middle.
So a huge pot at this final table involving the top 2 stacks.
That's such a sick.
Even the young guns on the sideline seem stunned at what's going on.
Let's just chop it up, man.
The winner will be the overwhelming leader at this table.
Good luck. Good luck, man.
What a moment.
This is a sick pot. Oh my God, thank God I'm not in it.
Tobias looks sick.
Please, one time.
Turn card is another 10. Molson's queen kicker gives him the advantage.
Now, if an 8 or a non-diamond jack comes, they'll chop the pot. If there is a river 7, queen, or diamond, Molson is gone and Tobias is the huge chip leader. Otherwise, Molson will be the huge chip leader.
Could go either way.
Let's see the river card.
The river card is an ace. Molson seals it with Broadway on the river.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, Tobias takes another major body blow.
Wow, what a pot that was. Molson in position to improve on his second place finish last year.
Nice hand.
Once again, said through gritted teeth.
I was trapping. Had to trap. Knew he'd be raising.
I had a nice hand.
I know.
Remember when Will was trapping? He was a slight underdog in the hand.
We have a chip leader. A new one.
What a sick flop, though.
Molson now the chip leader, while the former lead dog, Tobias Rankemeyer, slumming with the short stacks. The PCA High Roller event brought out some of the biggest names in the game, and on the penultimate day, a stacked field of 24 was left fighting for seats at the final table. When PokerStars pro Dario Minieri hit the rail, the final 16 were in the money, including a pair of ladies and 2 former world champions. But Greg Raymer's run ended in 13th place.
Good game.
While Joe Cata fell in 11th. And with the elimination of Sandra Nayus in 9th place by Tobias Rankemeyer, our final table was set. That leaves Lisa Hamilton as the lone female in the game, but being a high-stakes cash game player, she certainly is not a shrinking violet. But she and the rest have to contend with a new chip leader in Will Molson, who just doubled through Rankemeyer.
The only person I didn't want to be in a big pot with, but it had to happen.
You didn't want to?
Well, not with him, because but it had to happen.
At the moment, Tobias not in a real chit-chatty mood.
Yeah, losing most of his stack to Will Molson. One of the other shorter stacks, Baeza lays it down. Folded over to Michiel Brummelhouse from Amsterdam. Looks down at 2 black aces.
Brummelhouse has his own internet company. In English, he says it's called cheap.com, and I think he has the cheapest watch here.
He raised it to $46,000.
I used to have a broken watch, Lon. Of course, it was right twice a day, which actually is pretty good for me.
That's the oldest joke. Lisa Hamilton in the big blind with pocket 9s.
Ouch. Bad time for pocket 9s.
Lisa Hamilton has Brummelhouse covered.
Okay, all in.
And raises him all in.
I call.
And a quick call, of course, from Brummelhouse.
Very bad time for pocket 9s.
I need it. One time, come on.
9s are nice, though.
9s are nice, just not when they're up against, say, pocket aces.
Just put it on the flop so I don't have to sweat it.
All right, and there it is, a 9 for Hamilton.
Boy, her wish is the dealer's command, and now Brummelhouse is on the precipice.
Two remaining aces in the deck in order
Come
to double
on,
through
you can
here.
do it.
The ace is looking for help.
Give him the ace of hearts.
Let's see the turn card.
Turn card is the 8 of hearts. Brummelhouse down to his last card.
He said ace of hearts.
One time.
Brummelhouse needs an ace or he is whamboozled.
And the river card is the ace of hearts.
He hits his
called that.
on the river.
Brummelhouse has life.
Michael is going to double through. He's not out of here.
Hamilton is crushed.
His all-in was 346,000.
Brummelhouse will stick around.
What a ride that hand was for him.
And this is a big chip transfer.
The Dutch player puts a hurt on Hamilton.
I know how he's thinking. He's on. Always on my.
Ah, now we can play again.
Oh, yeah, we can play again for real now.
Indeed, Brummelhouse has some room to play. He's second in chips now. Let's look at the leaderboard. Molson in command with a 1,000,000 chip lead over Brummelhouse. Reynolds in third, Hamilton down to fourth, while the top 2 stacks coming into the table are now on the bottom. Rankemeyer, now the second short stack, a far cry from his position as chip leader. Action on Lisa Hamilton, who was also, until recently, near the top of the leaderboard.
I hate not having chips.
She's got to lay down 6-5 of spades.
She can only blame Elke. He talked her into this tournament.
That's true. Over to Brummelhouse now. 9-8 off on the button.
Well, now that he has chips, he said he was gonna play. And it looks like he does want to splash around here.
47,000. Hey, that's Molson's favorite number. On Will Molson in the small blind. Ace-Jack of hearts. He's got a new favorite number, it looks like. He's announced his raise.
70,000 more.
70,000 more.
He's such a polite aggressor.
He's Canadian. They're nice people. To Rankemeyer in the big blind. Ace-King of diamonds.
Molson had a big hand in the small blind. Tobias with a bigger hand in the big blind.
I'm all in.
And he 4-bets all in. Brummelhouse lays it
Need to
down.
count.
It would be for about 20% of Molson's stack.
10s or 9s?
If he thinks he's in a race, he's definitely going to call.
Probably a ace king.
Well, he's put him on the right hand.
I really hope he's not calling right. Come on, Will.
Yeah, I have to call.
Well, they played a pot worth 2 million chips earlier, almost 1 million in the middle here. Another big moment.
Well, even if he loses here, Molson would retain the chip lead. You know, even if he put him on ace-king, in terms of pot odds, it's not that bad of a call. Molson's getting about 2-1 on his money with a chance to knock out another player, and Will's just a little more than a 2-1 dog in the hand.
The flop trade, deuce. Rankemeyer with a flush draw.
Well, that's a great flop for Rankemeyer. Molson's about to make him healthy again.
Turn card is a diamond, and the flush comes through. Molson and friends are drawing dead. Rankemeyer doubles into second place.
That's on. Thanks.
Will Molson still leads this final table, but his margin for error is pretty thin now, with Tobias Rankemeyer right on his tail.
The North American Poker Tour, presented by PokerStars.net.
I thought he might have like 10s, maybe like
10s at worst. It was a fold. But anyways, regroup.
Welcome back to Atlantis and the NAPT at the PCA. Will Molson getting some friendly counseling from his buddies, but he is still the chip leader. He's got a 400,000 chip cushion over second place Rankemeyer. Let's take a look at the chips right now. Lisa Hamilton and Adolfo Baeza are the short stacks, but it has pretty much been the Molson-Rankemeyer show so far. Molson started near the top, slid to the bottom, and then raced back to the top again, not unlike 4 PokerStars team pros who were recently involved in a very different kind of race. Paradise Island in the Bahamas is the place for fun in the sun. But not today. As the wind howls and the temperatures drop, 4 poker players are ready to face off against each other and their fears on the Atlantis Challenger slide. But before they raced each other, it was time for a practice run.
I'm just gonna make sure I'm not scared.
I'm feeling scared. I don't like heights.
Pretty scared, actually. It's pretty chilly up here.
Victor Randon, though, may need a little more practice than the others. But after Victor made it to the pool, it was off to the races.
Ready? Go!
Yeah! Kavad needs a swimwear consultant.
We went down before they said go. I don't know what he's talking about. We went at the same time.
Kata was jobbed.
Bulldoze is going down.
Victor thinks he won it.
I think Kavad won.
You're right. The photo finish shows Kavad Khan is the champion. Well, Norman, a tough loss for Victor there, but I'm sure he's already back on the slides training for the next time there's a race. All right, we are 6-handed at this competition. A little more at stake. Almost $600,000 to the champion. Folded over to Tobias Rankemeyer. What a ride he's been on today. He's got pocket queens on the button.
Yeah, it's been a dark day at this final table for him. That double up against Will Molson, the first sunshine he's seen.
A raise to 40,000. Over to Lisa Hamilton with a king.
Boy, Lisa's body language tells you she's low on chips.
And a 6. And from the Barca Lounger, she folds over to Adolfo Baeza in the big blind. Jack 7 of clubs.
He owns a construction company that paints roads.
He announces raise.
We've seen him defend his weak jack before.
All in.
Oh my.
I call.
And Rankemeyer calls to put Baeza at risk.
With 16 big blinds left, Baeza attacks. The amateurs play Jack 6, Jack 10, now Jack 7 from the blind.
Baeza's friends are nervous. Leo Fernandez shared the London High Roller final table with Adolfo. Rankemeyer trying to knock off the man from Montevideo.
8, 9, 10. 8.
8,
9,
9,
8,
5,
9,
2 clubs.
5.
Suddenly Baeza, the favorite with flush and straight draws.
Maybe he paints roads that are only paved with gold, and I believe they all lead to his driveway.
Talk about sweat, my God.
New life at the table.
A double gutter street.
No bad. No bad.
Veronica DeBull likes what she sees.
And Tobias is thinking this can't be happening.
Turn card is another 5. That's no help to Baeza.
Tobias still not happy, but he's reestablished control of the hand.
A 10, please.
Baeza needs a 10, a 6, or any club, or he is gone.
It's not bad.
And the river card is a club, and Baeza makes his flush and his straight to double up.
Even Tobias couldn't say nice hand this time.
Thank you, my friend.
Not that easy blind there.
Adolfo, no stranger to the big pressure. He finished 4th at that London High Roller final table. But for Tobias at his first major final table, things aren't going so well after that Adolfo double up. Welcome back to Atlantis and this PCA High Roller final table. Adolfo Baeza still smiling after that last double up through Tobias Rankemeyer, who was again looking a bit queasy. Price of poker is up. The blinds at 12 and 24,000 with a 2,000 ante. William Reynolds looks down at ace 10.
I wore that exact jacket to a bar mitzvah when I was 13, Lon, and got Mindy Herman's phone number.
A raise from Reynolds to 57,000. Brummelhouse will not play. Will Molson lays it down.
Boy, these guys look too serious and too good for me.
Rankemeyer with queen deuce. And he'll sit this one out. In the small blind, Lisa Hamilton. Ace Trey.
Nothing.
And she moves all in for 327,000.
Hamilton with about 13 big blinds left.
Folded back to him.
Remember, Hamilton pushed Reynolds off the better hand pre-flop earlier with a re-raise.
Lisa looking very comfortable with her decision. That's Will's phone going off.
Maybe it's Mindy Herman.
This isn't going to kill my hand, is it? My silence it?
There is a no talking on the phone policy at the final table.
No one else call me.
Lisa doesn't want to call either. Maybe it's a sign. If someone calls you at the table, you should call your opponent.
Laying one down.
And William lays it down.
Nope, it's a sign to Reynolds to fold. And Will buckles one more time under Lisa's pressure.
Just wanted to scream out call.
Yeah, Lisa would have screamed out a different word.
A somewhat conservative laydown by Reynolds to Hamilton there, but if you look at the VPIP through the first 48 hands, Reynolds has been the most active player today.
Remember, VPIP measures chips that are voluntarily put into the pot. An average player usually hovers between 23 and 27%. Reynolds at 38%, pushing his chips out at a pretty good clip.
Will Molson you saw with a smaller VPIP than Reynolds, but perhaps more effective as he sits here at the final table as the chip leader. Ace-10 offsuit.
He had only 10 big blinds going into heads up against Elke last year at this high roller event. Tough to beat Elke with only 10 big blinds.
Tough to beat Elke anytime. Molson raises it up to 58,000. Rankemeyer with rags to Lisa Hamilton now with a 9.
9 and what?
Ace.
Thank you.
Lisa casually folds. Baeza lays it down to William Reynolds in the big blind. King, queen of spades.
I used to have a head of hair like that.
He picked up live game experience by traveling to countries that allow younger gaming, like the Bahamas, and he's doing a pretty good job. He calls for queen ace, all hearts. Molson with a pair of aces and a flush draw. Reynolds with a pair of queens.
A little something for both of them to like, but Molson in command.
Reynolds checks middle pair. Molson
Check.
checks with top pair, the draw, and position. Another queen on the turn. Reynolds scores big with trips.
Boy, that might be a costly flop check for Will Molson.
Reynolds bets it 104,000.
I don't believe Molson can go anywhere. Pair of aces and a flush draw.
You're right, Norman. He makes the call. Chip leader can't afford it. He'll see a river card. And it is a king. Reynolds improves the queen's full. Molson better be careful. Reynolds leads out with 232,000.
That's about 2/3 the pot.
King queen over there.
Molson's read is true.
Will he follow his instincts?
I think you check call with that ace. Nice hand.
Molson will lay it down.
He minimizes the damage, but feels the pain.
And what a nice pot for the 09 EPT San Remo final tableist William Reynolds, now second in chips with over 850,000. He's now in hot pursuit of Molson's chip lead. Reynolds and the other 5 remaining players all have their eyes on the $576,000 and this PokerStars.net PCA High Roller title.
Welcome back to the North American Poker Tour. Remember, you can join me at the next event by going to PokerStars.net. Just open your free poker school account and playing daily NAPT qualifiers for free. Now let's get the cards back in the air.
From beautiful beaches to a vast array of activities, there is something for everyone at Atlantis. But for those in search of a little more, well, the exclusive Cove Pool, private cabanas, opulent suites, and 5-star dining make this a high-end destination for high rollers. But for the 6 players remaining at our final table, the battle for the PCA High Roller Championship continues. This has been an action-packed final table so far, and the man in the eye of most of the storms has been one-time chip leader Tobias Rankemeyer. Let's compare the number of big blinds our final players hold. The bottom 4 players are pretty much in the danger zone, while Molson and Reynolds are pretty comfortable at the top. Action on Tobias Rankemeyer. He looks down at King Deuce.
Got a feel for him today. It's been a really rough outing.
We saw Hamilton, another ace. Into the muck. Baeza lays it down. William Reynolds now in the small blind. Ace deuce of diamonds.
You want an off loss hand.
Brummelhouse trying to talk Reynolds into giving him a walk in the big blind.
Reynolds says, no way. A raise to 62,000.
Oh, somebody's got to pay for that jacket.
Mikhail Brummelhouse now in the big blind. King 4 off suit.
Not much. Well, maybe Brummelhouse is going to pay for that jacket.
He will defend the big blind as he calls for 38,000 more.
Well, I would have laid down the King 4 and gone and sold my watch to a preschooler.
So heads up Brummelhouse and William Reynolds. The flop is Jack, Jack, deuce. Reynolds takes the lead with his pair of deuces and the jacks on board. And will lead out with 46,000.
Reynolds knows if Brummelhouse doesn't have a jack, his hand is probably good.
Well, Norman, we know Brummelhouse doesn't have anything but king high, but he makes the call.
Well, it's the old call to bluff the turn with the blue and yellow watch trick. Seen it 1,000 times.
An ace on the turn. Ace is up for Reynolds and 100% lock on the hand.
Yeah, Brummelhouse with nuclear squadouche drawn dead.
Reynolds makes it 102,000 now.
And here comes the bluff raise.
Brummelhouse reaching for chips, but that's just a call.
I'm sorry, it's actually the old call to bluff the river with the blue and yellow watch trick. I'll say this, if I'm William Reynolds, that call makes me uneasy.
All right, river card now is an 8 of hearts. That's the 3rd heart on board. Reynolds still, of course, with the best hand, and he checks the river.
Reynolds slows down, decides to give Brummelhouse some credit for something.
I'm all in.
Wow, the old trick is working. All in for Brummelhouse.
Oh, it's the call to bluff the river all in with nuclear squadouche and a blue and yellow watch. And Reynolds has to ask himself, would Brummelhouse bluff all in? Probably not. Brummelhouse would have slow played trip jacks. He certainly might have called with a flush draw. I couldn't call here.
You're not bluffing.
Reynolds is totally fooled and lays it down, and Brummelhouse shows the bluff.
Oh, that stings.
My friend's best hand.
Oh, well, what a play to move up the chip ladder for Brummelhouse.
Mikhail Brummelhouse pulls it off to perfection. He is now the 2nd biggest stack at this final table with 762,000 chips. Reynolds still steaming after letting that opportunity go into the muck. So another shift in power at this final table. 6-handed action on William Reynolds. And pocket kings are pretty good to take you off tilt.
Well, if you're playing well, there's no shame in sometimes laying down the best hand. Brummelhouse made a gutsy play. Reynolds knows just to move on.
Reynolds raises to 56,000.
By the way, Brummelhouse is friends with Lex Veldhouse, who's also known to run a bluff or two.
Yeah. Folded over to Tobias Rankemeyer in the small blind. Pocket eights.
Bad time for pocket eights.
I'm on.
Bad time to go all in. Lisa Hamilton with 8-6. One of Tobias's outs is folded.
Call.
And a call from Reynolds. Tobias Rankemeyer at risk, way behind.
And Tobias's roller coaster ride today is about to come to a crashing halt.
All right, now the flop. Jack 4-7. Reynolds and his pocket kings remain firmly in control.
Tobias began this final table as chip leader, and he's just run into some nasty luck.
An ace peels off the turn. Rankemeyer down to one last chance.
And he's down to a one-outer. The one-time chip leader needs the last 8 in the deck or he's done.
The river card is a queen, and that will do it. William Reynolds finishes off Tobias Rankemeyer, who was eliminated in 6th place.
He was a kid with a dream.
A disappointed Rankemeyer will earn over $108,000.
Good game, buddy.
Nothing to do for Tobias but to go home. While for William Reynolds, there's plenty to do, stacking his newly won chips that have him back in 2nd place with $1.1 million.
Yeah, now I have a big stack and I'm ticked off.
A warning shot from Reynolds. This final table began with 8 high rollers looking to make a name for themselves. Including Tobias Rankemeyer, who came in as chip leader, then absorbed blow.
Let me win this one.
After blow. Before being knocked out in 6th place. Now, only 5 remain in contention for the title, including an amateur looking to pull off an upset, a cash game specialist looking for her first open tournament win, and the current chip leader hoping for redemption after falling just short last year.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Next time we crown a champion. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching the NAPT at the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure High Roller Final Table.